Afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming to Nebworth. Thank you for coming to Sonisphere again. We thought we'd just do a bit of a chat, question and answer session, which would represent the end of our festival this year. It's not the end, obviously, but the rest of the afternoon gets more and more busy, both for you and for us. So we thought this would be an appropriate time to just sum up where we've got to and what we've achieved this year. So we're massively proud that we've been able to run our third Sonisphere. Eternally grateful to Martha and Henry for welcoming us back to Nebworth and allowing us to wreck their garden for another year. This year for us has been quite significant. It's only our third year. We're very pleased to be able to tell you all that in just our third year we've achieved sellout for the first time. Last year we were fortunate enough to be able to sell all of our tickets on the Sunday afternoon. This year, bar for the odd 10 or 20 tickets around, we've had 3 sellout days. We've had 60,000 people here. And to say that we're happy with that is an understatement. If you said to us 3 years ago, when we started the concept of Sonisphere, that we would be able to get to this level of achievement and success in just 3 years, we would have told you it wasn't possible, but we have. I think that success this year is in no way least means because of the huge bill that we've had this year, and the team that we've had that's put together that, which John and I have been part of, but the rest of the team that put it together have done a fantastic job this year. And I have to say that in promoting rock festivals for 30 years, this is one of the bills I'm most proud to ever have been involved with. It's one of the best rock bills I've ever seen at a UK festival. So in terms of how our weekend has run, we've had some mixed weather, as you've all seen and felt. The great news though is although we had some very heavy rain yesterday, the site has held up very well indeed, and it's proven to us that Nebworth has got some solid infrastructure, both above ground and underground. And the site, even if we had horrendous weather, we think that it would still be functional, and I don't think we'd ever get to the point where we're getting images such as you see from Glastonbury some years. So we're very pleased on how the site's performed. In terms of the efficiency and the customer service of the festival this year, we've worked very closely indeed with Hertfordshire Police. Obviously we haven't come to an end yet, but I can tell you that our crime figures have been absolutely decimated this year in terms of going the right way, and that we're currently looking at about a reduction of nearly 300% on our tent crime. And at this point in time, he says, looking for some wood, we haven't had a single car break-in, which is testimony to a fantastic operation that we've had running out there since Wednesday. So that's really, really good. Yeah. So I think with regards to this year, we've obviously had some massive highlights. The fact that we were able to deliver the Big Four, which is something that John and I had worked on for the last 2 years. We were disappointed that we couldn't bring the Big Four to the UK last year. We were only able to deliver European shows, but to finally see those 4 titans of thrash grace Nebworth Park was fantastic. And then to say last night that there were 3 very, very excited Scottish guys in the dressing room after Biffy played is an understatement. They absolutely loved it. And then obviously we got the triumphant but also very emotional return of Slipknot this evening. Some of you have just witnessed the whole site, all 300 acres and 60,000 people going silent for 2 minutes in deference to Paul's remembrance. So we've had some very, very enormous highs, some very somber moments, and now we've got an afternoon of just rocking out to come. So I don't know, Henry, Martha, do you want to comment upon what we've done to your wonderful grass?
Well, it's wonderful having the event again, Stuart, and we're thrilled to have it here once more, and to have a third sellout successful event is just fantastic. It's what we're about, and we'd love to have it again.
Yeah, and also to have, I mean, where else were the Big Four going to play in England? I mean, they needed to play Nebworth, and they did play Nebworth, and that's the way it should be. And it was one fantastic night. Fantastic.
Okay. So, John, you man a few words, or?
I'm just still stunned by what I witnessed at 2 o'clock. Only a metal crowd would have such respect for one of their own to stay silent for 2 minutes. I can't believe it.
Okay, sorry, I haven't finished. So I was going to pick up nicely and neatly upon Martha's segue, which is that you'd love to have us back. So we're one of the other purposes of today was to actually make the announcement that we are running next year. I can tell you that the dates are July 6, 7 and 8. And in true festival tradition, I can also tell you that our tickets are going on sale for that festival on Wednesday next week. There's a limited supply. They're going out at this year's prices. It's an early bird ticket, and in way of saying thank you to everybody that would adopt us early, there's a free early bird t-shirt, limited edition early bird t-shirt that we're putting to it as well. So yep, Sonisphere is here. We're not going anywhere. We're back next year. So please go away and write about how wonderful we are, and that everybody should come next year, and we'll hopefully roll on for many years to come. And Nebworth is the jewel in the crown of our European tour. We have had 11 Sonispheres this year, including this weekend. We ran in France, which ran last night and the night before. I spent yesterday in France with Metallica and the rest of the bill, and then Slipknot played in Sweden last night. So it's been a hectic weekend for us, but thoroughly enjoyable. So I think that's about it. So if anyone's got any questions, is that? Oh, I'll do your bit now. Yeah. If anyone's got any questions, Debbie's available for answers. No. It's,
Okay, last year, exactly this time last year, you let, no pun intended, but you let slip who was going to headline this year.
We did.
Have you got any little sound bites you can give us for next year already?
I don't think we knew who was going to headline this time last year.
Yes, we did.
We did. Okay. No, we're completely and utterly disorganised. We're having lots of conversations, including lots of conversations that have happened over this weekend as well. But nothing that we can, solid information we can give you at the moment. Watch this space.
2 questions. First of all, I mean, being a touring festival, is it more difficult to connect with bands, like they would from a normal festival to like a different arena tour? Is there more challenges involved in that? And my second question, in relation to the 2 minute silence earlier today, there was a lot of the festival merchandise sales people that weren't observing it and carrying and serving. Was that something that you were trying to get everyone to get involved in, or do you have any sympathy or apologies for people that weren't getting involved?
Okay, let me deal with them one at a time. Yeah. So the first question, an arena tour is something that happens day in, day out, and is restricted by the length of distance that we can drive trucks in a 12-hour period. Festivals are somewhat more difficult because they're geographically more separated. They have to be, by definition, is one per territory usually. So logistically we have to have 2 or 3 sets of gear, and it certainly gives some challenges to some of the band's travel itineraries. I mean, if you look at Slipknot and Mastodon alone this weekend, on Friday they played in northwestern France, yesterday they played in Stockholm, and today they're playing in Nebworth. You can't drive those distances. So and indeed myself, I was in France yesterday morning, came back, got back in time to see the last number of Sisters of Mercy last night. You can only do that by flying, unfortunately. So yes, there are more logistical issues, but just because it's not been done before doesn't mean that we're not stupid enough to give it a go. So with regards to the 2 minute silence, with 60, 70,000 people, or with all of our staff, 75,000 people in attendance, I think we had an enormously respectful result. I wasn't everywhere on site at the time that it was taking place. So if there were a couple of people that were still working, then I apologise. If they were working silently, that's perfect. They were being respectful but still making money. So anybody else?
Given how well the Tyra went down last night, do you think, has that affected your thinking in terms of future headlines you might book in terms of lighter rock bands that do well played?
Well, I think Sonisphere, we've always made a point of describing Sonisphere as a rock festival. It's great that we have metal, it's great that we have thrash, but we always have said that we're a rock festival. And to have bands like Biffy, Weezer, You Me at 6, All Time Low, as part of the bill, we absolutely welcome it. There are only so many thrash and metal bands in the world that are big enough to be able to draw an attendance to the level that we require here. And if we can have metal, thrash mixed in with rock, then that's certainly our ambition. And we would welcome bands of the genre of Biffy at Nebworth any day.
With all the new young bands around that you're giving airtime to, and it's really, really appreciated, the ones I've spoken to, how do they progress up the level of the stages to get to the higher stages?
Well, I mean, they play great music, and I was listening to Sonisphere radio in France yesterday while I was in my office, and I was listening to a band that was being interviewed, and unfortunately I didn't catch the name of the band, but they were saying that this is the third year they played Sonisphere, and the first year they started off on the Jaeger truck. Then they went to the Red Bull stage last year, and this year they played Bohemia. So it's awful to tell you that I can't tell you who the band was, but sorry. Okay, and so that's your answer. They just get if they're good. I mean,
Very good.
I mean, and while we're not, we obviously want to present as broad and as a variety and as a unique bill as we can. If a band is good and they're growing and more people want to see them, then we'll welcome them back to play ever bigger stages. And as we've always said, perhaps the most important stages of the whole festival are the Jägermeister stage, Bohemia, and Red Bull, because they're the stages where we're seeing the bands that are going to be headlining Saturn and Apollo in 5 years' time. So,
would you be looking at logistics of media campaign next year?
Media camping. It's all about you. It's all about.
It's totally impractical. It's far too far to walk back and charge cameras and get things. And last year we could cut through rock royalty.
Okay.
This year we can't.
Okay. It's sorry, I was being facetious. So, if
you do B&B?
Yeah.
It could be
There are
arranged.
empty rooms in the house.
We've got 18.
So it's like a festival experience.
No, it's if that has been, I mean, every year, and I think we said this last year, it's the day that we sit here and say we run a perfect festival, we should give up, because there's no way on something of this scale that we could ever claim to say we've got it right. What we do strive to do is to learn by comments, and it's great to hear that you've had a problem. Well, not great to hear that you've had a problem, but great to hear your comment and your feedback. And so if that is an issue, then we'll look to address that for next year.
40-minute walk.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's no, I understand that entirely.
The best coverage.
Good and bad comments.
No, it's absolutely.
Yeah.
And already in my head, I've thought of a solution. Now I'll go and ask the staff, and they'll go, "No, you're mad. You can't do that." So okay, no, we'll look to that.
Can be addressed.
Okay.
Would you also consider bringing in more femme metal bands? Because obviously the femme metal genre at the moment is growing, coming back up through the ranks.
Right.
Back in like the 80s where you had Dawn Pesh, Warlock, Dick.
Yep.
They were quite high up. Nowadays you've got Sister Sin, good group of America, which are really coming up through the ranks. Would you consider doing a femme metal promotion within Sonisphere to bring back a bit of the genre?
I think the answer is, would we do a promotion? I don't think we'd do a promotion, but if the bands were there upon merit, then we'd welcome them. I think our overriding consideration for Sonisphere and the bill at Sonisphere will be quality. If they're good, we'll book them. If they're bad but just happen to be in that genre, then we won't book them. So,